Hello everyone, welcome back to Spinning Iris. I'm not sure how to start this one, so I am just going to say it. All those people who've been banning and challenging these two books have not read these books at all. They are taking pages out of context and spinning their own story around it that it is pornography. How dare you? This story here, at least with these two portions here, back to back. I had to read this one in order to find out what was going on with this one. This is not a story that's just, a girl and a guy are going at it on every page. This is not Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty saga. How dare you? This starts off as a Beauty and the Beast story and ends with a True Bride story. If you don't know what a True Bride story, it is basically, you have your princess or your lady who has to in some way rescue her prince or her king or her betrothed in some way, shape, or form. At the end of this, the main character Feyre is physically and mentally destroyed and put back together physically, but her mental state is not in the best shape, and that's where this story picks up. And the one that we thought was the hero in the first book is not the hero we thought him to be. And the villain who we thought was a villain, well, more of an anti-hero, I guess, turns out to be super amazing. And just to give you an idea of how much fun times are going on in here, I marked those with those little white pieces of paper. This is the beginning. There's one moment that is a very intimate moment between Feyre and Tamlin, and then these two other spots here, it's nothing. It's just like, we did it. He's doing it. And then we have this long stretch here, which I believe is roughly around 300 pages before we get to anything remotely interesting in that way. And in that case, it's much like these other two instances up here. It's a distraction. There is barely any description. And then we get a strong, intimate moment. We get some more strong, intimate moments, but by that time, the two characters, they might as well be married, so I don't know why anybody's getting... I don't know why anybody... I'm just not going to say it. Yeah, so what we have here is a story of a young woman who is mentally broken. She has no support. The one person who she thought she could count on is unable to do anything because of his obedience, and the one who should have been taking care of her is honestly just as broken as she is, and is just blind to everything going on with her and probably within himself. And she basically screams down mentally for someone to help her, and in comes Rhys, who she formed a special bond was forged between them, but something it turns out it's a lot stronger than, and a lot more than what we thought it might have been. We get a hint of what that could be in the first book, because it's brought up a little bit. But Rhys sees how destroyed she is, and it turns out he is not in the best mental shape either, but he sees how destroyed she is. He gives her the time and the space to heal, and trains her, whether she likes it or not. She does know that that is what she needs in order to get better, to improve herself. In context, at the beginning of the first book, she doesn't know how to read, or she barely knows how to read, and Tamlin teases her, and it nearly gets her killed at the end of it. So one of the first things she does is she learns how to properly read thanks to Rhys, as well as dealing with the powers that she suddenly finds herself with. He helps to train her, which Tamlin was not wanting to do for fear that the enemies would find her and try to use her for themselves. So, Farah is working on building back her mental strength, building up her physical strength, building up her, I guess, magical strength. In fact, she saves Reese a number of times in here. I just finished this, so I'm a little, I'm a little jumpy. Yeah, it got to a point in here where it's like, something bad's happened. There's going to be more bad happening. I just know it. I do like the ending though. It's got a nice symmetry to the ending of the first book. You know, in a way, of ending at the spring court in the first one and ending in the spring court in the second one. Yeah. But yeah. Heaven forbid having strong female characters for young people to read about. And it's not about sex, as you can see. Half the time sex is a distraction. And this one. Genderqueer is probably one of the most beautiful books that I've read in a long time. And I'm not kidding. There is so... It's so... I don't want to say simple, because simple is the wrong word. But there's something in here for everybody to relate to. Whether you're male, female, or you don't know. Because that's basically what this is. This is a memoir. This is Maia Kobabe putting herself out in public. Putting themselves out for all the world to see in more ways than one. Clothed and unclothed, young and current. Bearing her soul, and it's all the little questions in here, the little joys in here. And there's stuff in here that most kids get with, like, high school health class. There's, like, only one instance of, well, I guess 2 instances of nudity, but there's nothing there. There's nothing. I mean, if you're a major prude, you might blush, but there's nothing. Honestly, this book should be in every middle school, in every high school, in my opinion. This is a very important memoir for young people to read. Heck, it's important for people my age and older to read too, because honestly, what's the point if we're not going to learn something every day? And I've learned quite a bit from this. I didn't take too many notes on either of these, but I took more notes for this one because this is unfortunately the norm for books that are challenged and banned in schools and libraries. And shame on you. I don't even care what your name is anymore, who decided to attack Barnes & Noble for even selling books like this. Shame on you. I think if you wanted to summarize what this memoir breaks down to in terms of, I guess, what some people may have missed since if they haven't read it, something they may have missed is that it's not about being a boy. It's not about being a girl. It's about being yourself. And everyone needs to read this book. So, that is the end of Banned Book Month. These were the 2 challenged books. 2 awesome books, 2 very different books about 2 very strong individuals. One fantasy, one reality. Don't stop reading, everyone.